This room at 216, 217 is pretty good. So these first three rooms kind of get you introduced to the idea of just catching the normal ghosts. Shortly, we'll be able to see the main features of this game, the portrait ghosts. As you can see, both runners are opting to use the Japanese version of the game. The dialogue boxes, I believe, are a little faster, and there are a few extra tricks you can do in this version of the game as opposed to the NTSC-U American version. So this is Neville, the first portrait ghost. So each portrait ghost has a little gimmick that you have to do in order to catch them. So Neville, all you have to do is wait for him to get tired of reading his book, and he'll let you catch him. So this section of the game is just kind of introducing you to the concept of portrait ghosts. The second one here is Lydia. All you have to do is pull the curtain back and let a draft in through the window. Alright, so Afroman is leaving Lydia's room at around 350, and Miles at around 353, 354. So it's still pretty close. One thing to note is that Afroman has no pearls, as you can see from the interface on the bottom right. There's a side category that we like to call low percent, which is to finish the game by only picking up King Boo's crown. In the set of No Out of Bounds, if you have no pearls and manage to drain Luigi of all the coins that you may have picked up in Area 1, you can actually skip a screen that counts up your money after you finish every boss ghost. So, we're moving on to Chauncey. This is the first boss of the game. And we're going to get to see some interesting optimizations, hopefully, from both runners here. Alright, let's see what happens here. Afroman manages to get the first ball catch on Chauncey, and so does Miles. This is a good start. So there are 4 boss ghosts in the game. Chauncey, you can finish in 2 what we call cycles, so essentially hitting him with the ball and then draining some health off of him with the vacuum. So we're going to see if they can get the second ball catch, which I personally think is harder. So they're both going to run into this horse here, hopefully, and they're going to use the invincibility frames to get underneath Chauncey to set up for the second ball catch. Afroman got it. And Miles also got it. Really close. So these are some pretty good times. 6:05 key grab from Afroman. And a 6:10 key grab from Miles. So we're still pretty close, but there are a lot of things that can happen in this game, so we'll see what happens. So while both runners are going through this cutscene, I'd like to introduce them a little bit with their personal bests off the leaderboard. So on the left is Mr. Afroman, who currently has a 1 hour and 1 second PB, really close to the sub-hour that a lot of people are striving for in this category. And on the right, we have ElectricMiles with a 59:20 PB. Both kind of close. Luigi's Mansion is notorious for a lot of its random elements that can throw a lot of runners off track. So we'll see if what kind of shenanigans go down during this race. So Afroman managed to skip the money screen there that you saw on Miles' screen. And we're going to be moving on to Area 2. So this is where things really start to open up. Both runners are going to opt to point their flashlight upwards while traversing through the hallway. This minimizes any animations of ghosts spawning and trying to scare Luigi throughout the hallway, which is time loss. The bathroom here introduces the grabber ghost. So essentially, both runners are going to have let the first ghost grab them and shake them off to set up for the double. Very nice. Up next is going to be almost everyone's favorite part of Area 2. A lot of runners like to put in work into optimizing the ballroom. So there are going to be 3 pairs of Shy Guys ghosts that walk around, and you're going to try and take off their masks in order to catch them. Miles has already missed the first double, which is unfortunate. And Afroman managed to get all 3 doubles. Nice. So, coming up is the next portrait ghosts, the Werlindas. This is probably one of the first really significant random elements that can happen throughout the game. Afroman missing the earlier release, where you can opt to catch the ghosts at earlier than you normally would. Both runners missing early release, so it's actually pretty even. So early release is a completely random element. It either happens or it doesn't. It's not at all in your control. So Afroman about to enter the storage room. We get to see a nice little skip, hopefully. So Afroman is going to go into this back corner, and he's going to just kind of point the vacuum at the wall for some reason, which we'll find out shortly. This double is very risky, but he manages to get it. So there's a switch in the mirror that Luigi presses, and the wall is going to go back, and we're going to find another switch. So what Afroman did was, normally there would be a poster covering up that wall. And what he did in the back left corner of the room was he actually pulled out the poster from behind the wall, which means he saved probably 5 seconds of having to catch the poster in his vacuum. So this next segment is going to introduce another major mechanic of the game, boo catching. So both runners have released the boos into the mansion, and you have to, in order to progress in the game, you need to seek them out in the lit rooms and catch them. We're going to scroll through some more dialogue, egads telling Luigi about the boos, but in Japanese. So we're going to kind of cycle back through the first couple rooms of the game just to catch some ghosts, catch the boos. So you can see there's a little lump under the tablecloth. Is he going to be... Oh, he's setting up for the dialogue box skip, I think. Very nice. So Afroman getting the dialogue box skip. Unfortunately, Miles does not, so this is kind of putting him in a bit of a disadvantage. So you're maybe wondering, how did the runners look for these things? They essentially hide in all the furniture elements of the game. And there's a little blinking light on the little interface on the bottom right that gives some indication of where the boo could be. Often it takes a little bit for the light to warm up and really say where the boos are. But you can, at a very high level, you can essentially optimize where to search first based on how the yellow light is blinking and where Luigi is standing. So the conditional for moving on in the game right now is 5 boos. So they're going to opt to get the first 3 in the back 3 rooms of the second floor, and then they're going to get the 2 rooms that they just lit up on the first floor. Let's see. Painting RNG. My favorite. So Afroman has caught his 5 boos at 1250 and is ready to go on to the next portion of the mansion. And Miles following up with a 13, almost 13 flat. So relatively close. But again, anything can happen. So Afroman's going to go into the bathroom, pull a key out of the toilet, and he's going to be going on to the mirror room. Both runners are going to be going. So let's see what happens. So the gimmick of the mirror room is that the ghosts are invisible on one side of the mirror, and you can only see them on the other side. But luckily the runners already kind of know where they are, so it's kind of muscle memory at this point, where they are. Miles dropping a little frames. Hope he can fix that. Alrighty, so there's a big skip that's going to be coming up. We're going to see if either of the runners get it. There's a fake in the drawer. Oh man, the boo already making a beeline for the door. That's a little scary. So you can see Afroman is going to be running over the fire metal as he catches the boo. So essentially what the game thinks that he's already picked up the metal and gives him the opportunity to save and quit like you do when you catch every boo. And this allows you to skip a good portion of the game, actually. So there's a long dialogue box that you'd normally have to sit through, kind of telling you how to use the fire metal. And then you have to solve a couple puzzles. So you'd have to light the torches in the mirror room as well as in the fortune-telling room if you failed to get the skip. Alright, so the runners are now going to have an encounter with Shivers the butler, who chases them down the hallway. And they're going to try and clear the next room before Shivers makes it to his room. Which is relatively easy if you're familiar with running the game. Afroman pulling Mario's hat out of the washing machine. Something's going on here. I guess we'll find out later. So there's Shivers. So once he finishes this double, he's going to be on his way over to the butler's room. Alright. Let's see. Miles is kind of on all the way on the other end of the room, so he has to do a bit of extra walking to get to the door. But he manages to get Shivers as well, so that's good. So, I had mentioned earlier that both runners are running on the Japanese version of the game. Essentially what you can do in this version of the game is, as you're going towards the vacuum that pulls you into this hidden room, both ghosts, you can catch a boo, and you essentially end up skipping the whole dialogue box associated with catching every boo. And their runners are going to do this going both ways through the hidden room. Looks like very nice hidden rooms from both runners, managing to get the quadruple on the ice ghosts that spawn. Alright. So the next room the runners are going to be visiting is the music room, where they get to play a little Mario trivia game, aka guess the one of the two Mario songs that can play. So this is Melody. She can play one of two songs. So for Afroman, she's playing the 2-2 from the original Mario Bros. Game. This means he doesn't have to move the analog stick to navigate through the menu. He can just mash through this. See what Miles is playing. I can't tell because the audio isn't on, but I can probably tell from the dialogue box. He got the Mario 3 level 1-1 music, which means he has to move the analog stick down a little bit to continue. Alright. Afroman leaving the music room at around 1910. And Miles is probably going to be leaving around 1920, 1919. So the runners are going to opt to skip this room. It's not required for no out of bounds. We're going to catch this ghost, and Afroman is going to grab the next element metal, which is the water element, which allows you to extinguish fires. Very useful. As you can see, there's a burning door in the back of the kitchen. I don't know how the smoke alarms haven't been set off yet. Afroman getting the dishwasher RNG, very nice. See where the boo happens to be for Miles. Ah, there's a fake in the dishwasher. He's going to be checking the tablecloth. There he is. So there's a plant on the right side of this screen. Not required for no out of bounds, but we're going to see if either of the runners opts to do it for fun anyway. I get the feeling Miles is going to do it because he runs 100% a lot. So essentially, the gimmick with Spooky is he lunges at you, and after he tries to hit you 3 times, a skeleton man will come up out of the ground, and you gotta catch him. And one of his bones will appease the dog, allowing you to catch him. So, after the graveyard here, we're gonna be coming up on the second boss ghost, Bogmire. So you can actually catch this guy in one go if you're proficient at this game. So we're going to see how this plays out for both the runners. So the trick with Bogmire is he summons all these shadow copies of him that you have to catch and throw into the real deal in order to catch him. So we're going to see what happens. Both runners are going to catch this first large ghost that's floating in front of them immediately after. Bogmire should show up on the right side of the screen. There he is. He's caught in the corner for Afroman, which is pretty good for him. Very nice. So Afroman getting the 1 cycle. See how Miles fares here. 2206 key grab. Very good. Fortunately, Bogmire... Oh, he kind of ran into the corner. That's pretty good. If he's on the edge, you can easily kind of get a hold of him. So both runners managed to get a 1 cycle on Bogmire, which is very good. Miles is going to be finishing Area 2 with a 22:27, which is about 20 seconds behind Afroman at the moment. So, we're going to be moving on to Area 3. Personally, my least favorite of the 4. So we're going to get to see some... where the game kind of tries to start to branch out, even though it's a very linear game. Okay, so the next segment coming up is we're going to go into the backyard, drop down the well, because we hear some strange noises coming from it. If the sound works with us here. Actually, I don't know if the sound, the screaming coming from the well actually plays in the Japanese version of the game. So Luigi's going to peek through the lion statue, and what's this? Mario. Always found it kind of ironic to see Mario trapped in a painting, considering his adventure through Mario 64. So now that we've kind of discovered the big plot twist of the game, Mario's gone up and gotten himself captured by the ghosts. Luigi's going to try and find a way to save him, hopefully. So Luigi picking up a piece of paper here on Afroman's screen. We'll find out a little bit about these later. He's going to be picking up a handful of these items in Area 3. This is, again, another optional room in terms of no out of bounds. There are 5 portrait ghosts in the game that you don't actually have to catch in order to beat the game. So there's the big guy in the dining room, Mr. Lugs, and this guy in the gym, Biff Atlas. So they're going to be walking by both of them. Here's the tea room. There's a lot of garbage in this room, making it kind of difficult to get around if you're not on the ceiling. So Afroman is going to be picking up the last ice elemental. Oh, wait. He's going to be picking up the ice elemental, which is the last element in the game that we're going to be working with. So the ice is going to allow you to freeze some things, like, say, water in a bathtub. I don't know. Hypothetical, of course. So the game is going to impose a few puzzles on us, quote-unquote. They're not really puzzles. You just need to know which elements to use in the next few rooms and how to use them. So first we've got the bathroom here, where we happen to freeze the tub to catch Petunia. Both runners are going to opt to do this room first, even though you can choose between 3 rooms at the moment. So if you catch Petunia first, the game's going to spawn a bunch of pearls, which means the next portrait ghost Afroman catches, and Miles is going to catch, will not drop as many pearls, probably due to object restriction in the CPU or something. So here's Grandma. We're gonna shoot some yarn balls and move on with our day. So the next room coming up is the Astral Hall. You're going to see that the developers conveniently put a fire elemental in that torch there, which the runners can grab on their way over. So they're going to have to light the candles in order to conduct a seance here. Miles slowly following up. So you have a lot of opportunity for doubles and triples in this room, so we're going to have to see what the runners are really made of. So Afroman opting to go for the triple, nice. See what Miles does. So you can opt to completely burn the Grabber Ghost and do the double like Miles did, or you can burn the Grabber Ghost once and set up for a triple like Afroman did. Interesting techniques. So here comes a relatively infamous segment of the run, Moonshot. So there are going to be some particles raining from the sky that Luigi has to catch in his vacuum and shoot at the moon, which is right there. So let's see how many tries it takes for the runners to get this. Afroman getting his first shot. Nice. I normally don't split here, so I don't know what the moonshot time is. And Miles also getting first try moonshot. The run is not cursed. So, a la Mario 64, we've got a star here for Luigi to pick up, since he didn't get to pick up any in Mario 64, of course. And he opts to use the vacuum to pull the star all the way back, reducing the amount of walking he has to do backwards. Very nice. So the runners are going to make their way back downstairs to clean up a couple extra rooms on the first floor. We're going to get to see another really interesting room coming up, the projector room. The gimmick of this room being that, again, the ghosts are invisible. And we're going to see if they can catch any invisible doubles and triples. Alright, here's where the doubles start to show up. We're gonna have one double and one triple in this room. Let's see if we can get the triple. Very nice. See how Miles does. He got all three of them. Great. So we're gonna pick up this hand on the ground. Shoutouts to no bank shot. Correct. So the runners are going to be skipping by this optional Portrait Ghost Slim bank shot. Probably the hardest Portrait Ghost in 100%. So the runners are going to revisit these few rooms in Area 1 that they didn't go to originally. To catch the boos here. Afroman getting, we like to call long text. So after 15 boos, Egad calls it upon himself to give you advice on how to play the game. Which is a little bit of an insult considering how long runners like us have been playing the game over and over again. Keep being reminded how to play the game. So these are the twins, Henry and Orville. Play a little hide and seek. Fun fact, you can hold your vacuum in front of the boxes to see which ones they're in. In case you didn't know that from playing casually, like me. So it's better to catch these two one at a time. This is the first time we've actually seen more than one portrait ghost in a room. If you're really crazy, you can try and catch both of them at once. So Miles has managed to catch up almost. He just has to get the boo. I'd say he's barely ahead. Oh, and the boo leaves Afroman's room. So if you can't catch the boos, usually there's a time limit imposed, or while you're catching them, if they laugh at you 15 times, which is optimally after 150 health, they'll choose to leave the room, which is unfortunate. You have to go back out, cue the cutscene of the boo mocking you for your shortcomings. Afroman, I believe, has gotten 2 instances of long text. Miles has gotten, I don't know if he got one in the twins room, but he got one there. So here's another chance. This is a chance for the runners to do another dialogue box skip. So what they're going to do is pull the blanket off of the bed, and as they're catching the boo, Luigi's going to catch the blanket at the same time. Miles misses it, unfortunately, and gets slammed with long text. So, the seemingly random items Luigi's picked up happen to be possessions of Mario. And so Luigi's going to visit the local fortune teller to ask what happened to Mario. Even though we kind of have a general idea of what happened to Mario. So this is kind of just a bunch of scrolling through dialogue, unfortunately. Really does an old number on the wrists. This is an extremely close one. So how's everybody doing? Hopefully you're all managing to stay cool. It's a little heat wave going through my area of residence. So, Afroman has finished bringing his items to Clairvoya and is allowed to catch her. Fun fact, Clairvoya's AI is a little different from most ghosts. So sometimes what you might want to do is rotate the C-stick as you're catching her, and it kind of helps out a little bit. So Miles has fallen behind, possibly due to mashing, as I'm being told. So, more walking. The runners are going to go all the way up to the 3rd floor of the mansion to move on. So, they're going to pick up some ice in the tea room on the way up, because they're going to have to take on some special elemental ghosts. I actually don't think I've brought up the concept of elemental ghosts at all, excuse me. So there's some ghosts that'll have like a fire, water, or ice texture inside of them. So the devs introduced a little bit of a rock, paper, scissors mechanic where if you spray an ice ghost with fire, you can nullify their element. And same with ice beating water and water beating fire. And there are a few ghosts that have to be defeated using this mechanic. Oh my goodness. Afroman unable to catch the ice ghost and getting slammed in the process. That might put him behind a little bit, as Miles is currently on the next sequence of ghosts. Getting the double on the ice ghost and the trash can ghost, but tripping on a banana, unfortunately. Too much potassium, I'd say. And Afroman has spawned a poison mushroom. That's the first one I saw. Surprising, because Miles is infamous for spawning poison mushrooms in his runs. It's really close. Miles found the boo a little later, so he's still a little behind. It's still insanely close, especially considering how far in the game they are. Afroman just got Van Gore-Text, which is the longest dialogue box he can give you when he's trying to give you advice. Miles is currently ahead for the time being, but we'll see what the third boss ghost says about that. So this is Bulasis. A lot of people coming into this game might have the most difficulty with this guy. These runners would probably make him look like a cinch. Really easy. So this collective of boos kind of turns into a hive mind that falls from the sky. So we're gonna literally catch 15 boos at the same time. Shoutouts to the category extension 15 boos. So they're gonna go and get this ice out of this statue on the right. Miles is gonna explode the large boo. We're gonna see if they can shoot them all down in one go. Very nice. Miles, almost. Oh, it's Afroman still maintaining his lead. Miles struggled to catch that last ghost there. He kind of went on alert phase and ran off. Still very close. I'm impressed. Alright, so moving on to the last area of the game. So Area 4 is where things get a little crazy. With regards to the completion conditions imposed by the game, you have a lot of more boos than you really need. So a lot of Area 4 is going to go untouched, making it a lot harder, because if one of your remaining boos goes off into a dark room, you can lose a lot of time. Both runners opting to pick up some fire, probably to do some animation skips. So, if you're walking into a dark room, Luigi's going to pull out his flashlight almost every time. What you can do is, if you hold down L at the right time, Luigi will move into his shooting fire animation, and it'll save, and he'll still keep moving, so your momentum doesn't just go to a screeching halt. Both runners kind of demonstrating that right there. So the next segment of the game is what we call the blackout. Essentially, the power goes out, and the spookiness gets amplified at least 10 times, I'd say. Ghosts can spawn anywhere now. So there's a... I believe both runners switched into sidestep mode before the Colossus fight. What sidestep mode allows you to do is keep the flashlight pointed in one direction while being able to move in any other direction you want. This is really helpful with preventing getting scared. So we're gonna mirror warp all the way back downstairs. And we're gonna encounter the portrait ghost they can only catch during the blackout segment, Uncle Grimly. I guess he's analogous to kind of like the weird uncle in the family. See how long it... Oh! Afroman with the instantaneous Grim. So both runners getting it. Nice. So the timing for catching Grimly is entirely random. He has control of whether or not you want to when you can catch him. So the fact that both runners got him immediately is pretty nuts. This run is insane. The fact that we've got maybe a little over 15 minutes left, and they're still this close is beyond me. So we're gonna go into the breaker room, turn the emergency power on. So this is the cellar. Again, another room with a lot of garbage in it. Which makes the boo a lot harder to catch. Afroman spawning a poison mushroom in this room. That's going to be a little scary. And he got the fake. He managed to avoid it. Very good. So both runners currently at... Oh, another Van Gore text for Afroman. I don't think Miles got a long text. He dropped a frame or two, so I didn't see if there was long text there or not. So, this game really likes to promote exercise, you know. He has really having Luigi walk around all over the place, run on a treadmill to get a key, you know. So, we're going to go all the way back up to the third floor, finish a few things up. Currently, the runners both have 37 boos. The conditional to unlock the final boss is to get the Van Gore key, which will happen near the end of the run, and to catch 40 boos. So you only have to catch 40 for 50 if you want to beat the game. Without insane glitches, that is. So the 3 additional boos that they're most likely going to get are the ones in the armory, the cold room, and the one in Van Gore's room, which we'll be getting to pretty soon. That's the end game, pretty much. So the next portrait ghost that the runners are going to encounter is going to be really interesting. There are essentially 3 of them in the room at the same time. It's pretty much synced up at this point. This is... Oh, what is this? A quasi-soldier double going on from Afroman. Wow. Things can get really hectic if you lock onto two Clockwork Soldiers at the same time. It can get really scary because one of them might drop off and you might end up dropping both of them. So we're all the way on top of the roof. This layout is going to look really familiar later on. I like to think of it as a bit of foreshadowing by the game. Very nice double on the Ice Ghosts. Good, both. Alright, so now that we've gotten the rooftop key, both runners are going to... Oh, Miles having a little issue with the ladder. So Afroman is going to work his way into the armory, which happens to be probably the laggiest room in the game, just because there's so much garbage that the console just can't handle the amount of trash in this room. So there's a really cool triple that both runners, I think, are going to try and set up for in this room. See what happens. Miles is scrolling through his PowerPoint as fast as he can to catch up. Oh, unfortunately, Afroman extinguished the grabber ghost and misses the blue one. So that's going to be a little setback. Lets Miles buy a little time. He managed to get the triple on these two ghosts. I mean, 3. I can count. So Armory Boo is one of the harder ghosts to catch. He's exactly 150 health, so you have to play close to optimally if you want to get him in one go. And the lag doesn't help either. Afroman's taking it nice and easy. Miles is also on his way to catching. Oh, so close. Is that 0 or 1? 1 health. Dang. Could have been worse. And Miles is caught in the ceramics room. Can't catch Booze in a dark room, so he has to bring him back into the armory. Afroman getting another instance of Van Gore-Tex. But I think he's still going to be able to maintain his lead, and he's going to save and quit. It's the fastest way to get back to the next segment of the game, which is going to be the basement. So Miles is having a little difficulty catching Armory Boo. He's going on an adventure. Did he just go into ceramics room? I guess. Wow, this could have been it. I think a miracle's got to happen for Miles to come back from this. Afroman is going to make his way into the pipe room. Got to freeze the Mountain Dew. And he's not going to actually light up this room, so he's just going to grab the key and get on out of here. So, harkening back to the Mario Brothers being plumbers, they have Luigi fix the leak in the pipe by turning a knob. Easy as that, I guess. Afroman trying his best not to get grabbed here. He's going to try and make his way over to the cold room. So the cold room, I like to think as Nintendo's way of shoehorning ice physics into this game. You'd never think, like, how do I put ice physics in my spooky game about traversing a haunted mansion? Well, here you go. This is Sir Weston. He can be pretty hard to one-cycle, but looks like Afroman's got a good hold on him. Very nice one-cycle. Miles is going to be making his way out of Pipe Room very shortly. Afroman trying his best to get this boo. Oh, I don't know. It's gonna be. Oh, he lost him. Unfortunate. Luckily, he didn't go up into the pipe room. That would have been an insane amount of time lost. Very nice. So Afroman is on his way out. Miles with, I think, the 2-cycle on Weston. Weston's really hard to hold on to. He likes to do, like, sharp turns, and Luigi has a hard time walking around on the ice. Miles took him a minute, but he's got a good hold on this boo, I think. Oh. Nope, dropped him at 20. So he's going to probably finish him off in right here. So Afroman is making his way up to the second to last room of the game, where you get to really collect a lot of swag points, because the game gives you an opportunity to show off your ability to catch triples. So this is the painter, Van Gogh, the guy that we've been getting long dialogue boxes about for a good chunk of the run. So he's gonna make his paintings come to life, and we have to catch him. Miles slowly making his way back up to the Van Gogh room to join Afroman. So you basically catch, like, every kind of ghost in this room, almost. Afroman missing that third ghost, but luckily he didn't get slammed. Luckily, if you're caught in the animation of catching a ghost when you're getting attacked, you won't take damage. That'd have been catastrophic if he got hit. So now that Afroman has caught all of the lackey ghosts, he's on his way to catching Van Gogh and to get out of this spooky mansion. A little bit of at a loss of what to do there. But you got the key. And spawning the boo in the paintings. Nice. He's really lucky he didn't lose the boo to auto-locking on those pearls in the bottom left corner. This can possibly 2-cycle, I think. Miles almost done catching the ghosts in Van Gogh's room. Fortunate 3-cycle. 3-cycle's still very good. He took a good chunk of health off the boo the first cycle there, so. Another long text just to finish things off. And Afroman is going to be on his way to King Boo. Miles is looking for the Van Gogh boo. There he is. So, more walking around. to the final showdown. So King Boo works a lot differently from the other Boos in this game. For one, he has a lot of health, and he isn't on quite the same timer as the other Boos, as we're going to see. See if Afroman, how he does here. Miles is on his way down to the basement too. Sub 1, I've been told, is probably not happening. Still a very good run. I think Cold Room Boo did him in. So they had to put Bowser in the game, so he's the final boss. Miles picking up the Sapphire while queuing the King Boo cutscene to gain a few swag points. He's going to be joining him in the King Boo fight. So King Boo is another 2-cyclable boss like Chauncey. It's very difficult. On average, you probably get a 3-cycle. Afroman has been a pretty good hold on King Boo so far. He hasn't really... It's pretty good. Dropping at 268. 2 cycles is going to be a little challenging. It's kind of on the high end. But I think... See what he goes for. We've hit the 1 hour mark. Afroman is going to opt to try for the 2-cycle. Let's see how he does. So close. Dropping him at 13 health. It's unfortunate. So he has to sit through the animation of Bowser putting his head on backwards, and I'd say loses a handful of time. Miles is going to see if he can set up for a 2-cycle here. Dropping him at 242. He's got a shot. Afroman finishing with a 10049. Very nice. All right. So Miles, see if you can finish off with a 2-cycle.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going? How was your run? It looked really good.
You know, it was really good, but it's always at the very end.
Yeah, Area 4 will do it to you.
Oh man. But no, that was the thing, is that I was actually really impressed by how well I did Van Gore, since that one I missed. I clutched it really hard.
Ghost, yeah, that was scary. You were luckily able to catch the 2 before the last one slammed you.
Yeah, and I could have 2-cycled that Boo, but he was just too high for me to get the perfect, you know.
King Boo? Yeah, you were pretty close. I don't know. I'm not typical.
I meant Van Gore Boo, but...
Oh, Van Gore Boo, yeah. 159 was a pretty good start.
Yeah, like, it was definitely possible. It's just that he got too far out of my vacuum, but
So Miles just finished, sorry, with a 101.49, so you guys finished a minute apart.
Wow, that's sick.
That was crazy, considering how close you were up through, like, Area 3.
Yeah, this is my second run in a tournament that I would have PB'd.
Oh, that's always disappointing. We're gonna see if Miles gets in here.
And to be fair, I should have been practicing more of Area 4, because I knew I was rusty and could have saved a lot of time in that.
Yeah, Area 4 will do it to you. Hey, Miles, is that you?
Hello. I don't know if his microphone is muted, but
he's according to Discord, he's not muted.
Sorry, I was on push to talk still.
Oh no, no problem.
I'm here.
You guys were pretty close for a good chunk of the game. Anything in particular?
I don't even think I need to say what I want to talk about.
I have something I want to ask you.
Go. Oh my god.
Armory Boo.
I don't want to talk about Armory Boo. That did everything in its power to just destroy me.
I felt so bad because I thought you were gonna catch me up after that point.
He didn't charge me. Not once, not twice, 3 times he didn't charge me. Also, on every single time I dropped a pump.
Oh my goodness.
Like I dropped a pump every single time.
Oh my god.
Like
lost.
I needed the game to work with me at some point this run. I had a couple spots of really good RNG, but for the most part, this game did everything in its power to slow me down.
Well, it's like throughout the whole game until Year 4, we had like the same kind of RNG, just in like different scenarios, and it was just pretty much tied up between us.
Dude, I'm still salty about how that run ended because it just was bad. It was really bad. I was playing well too. Like I was happy with the run. Then like Armory Boo did everything in its power to destroy me. Why didn't he charge me? Just charge me, dude. Like, why did it have to be this way? Why did you have to end it this way?
The King Boos were pretty close. You dropped him at, I think, was it 252? That was...
who? Electric?
Miles dropped him at 252.
I dropped him at 242. Then I bombed.
242, right?
And I bombed in a very clean 2 cycle that I never get to begin with. So yeah, that was the cherry on top.
I tried recovering from a 268, which I had.
260 is pretty hard, I think.
Why did you go for that?
you were really close. I think you dropped him at 13.
Yeah, it was 13 HP, which.
Both of you did really good, kind of like staying close to King Boo for the first cycle, though. So I gotta commend you for that.
Yeah, I can't sometimes like always keep up with what he's doing, because he could just randomly fly away without you realizing that he's gonna get away. I don't know. That's just how he is, I guess. Wow. So. No, this race I think was overall amazing.
It was really good.
Considering.
Dude, I was not ready for a race this close. I was not ready to stand for that pressure. That was too much pressure on me. Like I literally had nerves from the start of the race to the end.
I nearly actually, when we went back into when we had to enter the mansion for the last time, I nearly hit normal mansion. I was hovered over it, but I knew I didn't need to. I knew I needed to press the hidden one, so I took the extra second just to change that.
Reminds me of the time that I got on Melody. I got the Super Mario Bros. 3 theme, and I like just forgot how to think for a second, so I slowly scrolled down twice rather than just pressed up. I'm like sitting there, like, what was I doing there?
Oh man.
Oh man.
Unfortunately, we'll have to rethink our superstitions. We have to chalk up another victory to the runner who didn't water the plant.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to stop watering the plant. Apparently saving the environment is bad. I'm gonna do that on my 100% runs too. Obviously watering the plant doesn't help you.
You save the frame and you save the frames and kill the environment.
Kill the plants. Alrighty.
Okay.
That's everything. We've got 2 matches going on tomorrow. For those of you who like waking up in the morning, early in the morning Eastern Daylight Time, we've got Radioactive Fog versus Mikuro at 9 in the morning Eastern Time.
Yeah.
And for our evening match, we have the Admiral versus Death Johnson at 6 p.m. Eastern.
That'll be some good matches right there, let me tell you.
Sounds pretty good. We all set, I think?
I'm good. I got not much more to say. I got pretty negative for the next 5 minutes, so...
So, again, follow the runners. I think there's a command in here I have to press. The R?
Yeah, exclamation bar.
So follow the runners. Both are very good at the game. Afroman on his way to 59. I've got a good feeling he'll be getting it pretty soon if you keep.
I need to get
keep
that
pushing for it.
59. I've been having this run PB for almost pretty much a year now at this
I think
point.
both runners have been fairly active. Miles is going for 114 in 100%. So you want to cheer these runners on as they work on improving in the game, I'd say. There you go. Both are very good, I think, at the game.
Grind for 58, but I don't ever want to play this category ever again in my life.
58, damn. 58's a bit of a step up. But
Yeah.
That's how it goes. You know how it be sometimes.
Thank you to SpeedGaming, of course, for hosting this tournament once again. And I guess that's everything. So everybody enjoy the rest of your evening, morning, afternoon, depending which time zone you're watching from. So.
Yep. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.
Have a good night, everyone.